Hidden Trials is out, so let's review all the cards and we'll rank them. That sounds good. Let's jump into it, starting here with Garland. Garland is a 2 CP backup. It's a knight, which is a relevant job. The name's kind of but the effect is still good, even just as outside of knight's just a card on its own. This guy's good. We'll give it an A rank. What we got next? We have, oh, I love this card. I love this card so much. Caius. We finally have a Caius that looks very playable. I love it. The art is so beautiful. It's so cool. We'll see if it can do stuff. I think it can. I think the effect is really cool. The discard 3 can enable Minwu, which is really cool. And we've got lots of cool, at least 5 CP Bahamut's to choose from, which do some pretty nice stuff. I'm gonna give Caius an A. Might be a little bit biased there, but I'm gonna be messing with this card a lot. Kane, yeah, a 4 CP forward at 7k, haste first strike. It's fine. It's a common. I mean, it's a Dragoon. We give him a B. He's just fine. He's a common. Kefka. Oh, this art is so cool. This art is just awesome. This card's interesting. The damage 5 could be really scary. Imagining just like party attacking this with a lock at damage 5. I don't know. Maybe it sees play as a fire card in an FF6 deck. That's where it probably lives. B-. Golbez? No. I don't see a world where this thing is played. We'll throw a D on this thing. Soul Cage, love this. I'm just a sucker for FF9 cards. It seems like a relevant monster. I mean, just getting to be a 2 CP 9k that gets you back whatever you need or whatever died earlier in a monster's deck seems like it could be relevant. So yeah, B+. Nice monster. It's Samurai. Sure, this exists again. It's a Dane. This thing is Gawain for FF9, which is a scary sentence to say. So we're gonna give this an A+. It's in fire, so its name doesn't clash too much unless you're in Fire Wind, which, it's a good card. This card is awesome. It's our Tantalus member. We got another one. The same one. Zorn and Thorn. This art goes so hard. Oh, this art goes so hard. I love it. And, I mean, the effect reads good. I don't know if it's too slow, but it's also just a little 2 CP body that you don't want to remove, right? Because then in a deck playing a bunch of monsters, it's like Realm, right? It's just like, hey, here's this thing, and if you answer it, I'm just getting more value. So I think this card's great. I'm not too much of an expert on monster decks, but it seems like it is really nice. I'm just worried it's too slow, but we have an A. A for art. These things. Soldier Candidate. We got a bunch of these. They're commons. They're commons, and this one is not good. D. Terra. Oh. The other one of our fire legends. This is our first S. I think this card is amazing. I'm so excited to play with this thing. The fact that you get summon reduction, you get protection from Mist Dragon. I think Mono Fire got some cool cards to go some cool routes this set. I think it's awesome, and I think this card is gonna absolutely see play. Rock'em Sock'em Boppers Tifa. I don't know. I like all the words on this card, but I wish this card had first strike. The fact that it's neat that it can trade into 9Ks, but I wish this card had first strike. If this card had first strike, it would be such a cool crystal generator, but at the moment it's kind of just meh. I don't see this card seeing play. C. Moro. This is cool. When I first read this, I was like, oh, a damage 5/1 CP, who cares? But the more I sat on it, the more I was like, well, 1 CP 9K something after you just like Montleonist or any other fire card that sacks it back up to do a nice bomb. That seems not bad. I don't hate a world where you know, pull 2 things back, and then play the Moro for 1 to 9K something gets in your way. Maybe? I like it. It's a neat effect. B. Nalapa. This thing says up to 2 of 2, which is already a really scary line of text. It's category 6. So that's a scary category. It doesn't name clash with anything. This card's awesome. I'm scared of this card a little bit. I mean, my God, that's a really good effect. A. Natsugo, got a little line of monsters here. But it's a guy. C. Bahamut. This art also goes so hard. You see little Pluto Knights at the bottom running for their lives. It's so cool. I like this card. I like this card a lot, especially after reading Caius, that Caius just throws this thing out there. But I love the fact that it gives fire good remove from game in the break zone option. That's really nice. I mean, just even being able to, 9K a Refia on board and choose a Refia on the break zone, 2 of them are out of the game, feels amazing. I love that. I love this card. We're slapping an A on this thing because I really, really like this card. Herai. Another card that I was like, meh, 2 PC damage taker, who cares? But then thought about it more, looked into it more, and like, this thing has some really good search targets. You can get Moody, you can get the new Amo, which we'll get to. You can get Gawain, which is probably the most relevant thing it can search. It's like running extra Gawains and Knights, probably. This card might see play. I think solely because there's some really relevant FFL characters that B+ on Parai. Palom, one of the twins. So we'll get to Porum later, but I do like Porum a little better than Palom for reasons, but the card is still amazing. So we're gonna give Palom an A+. I love this card. I'm excited to mess with the twins. And our final fire card is Monk. This is another little series of backups. This one gets a C+ solely because it's a relevant name. Other than that, kind of stinks, but it's a Monk. Red Mage. Another one of these. If you have 5, do something. If not, do something smaller. It's fine. Again, it's a common. C. Weiss. There's better Weisses, and even in a deck with crystals, it's, who cares? D. Amo. Okay, Amo. RFGing your opponent's hand feels incredible. Like, just the fact that your opponent might have a Misdragon, they might have a mod, they might have any response, and you just start with this and okay, goodbye. And then you can just freely play your whole turn. Or not play this, crack it, but that's honestly probably even better. That you have just this immediate, hey, use your cards now because I'm about to go off card. Love it. I think this card's very, 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 very good, and I think it will absolutely see play. A+. I like this card. And it's FFL. Anima, icon of icons. This card's kind of scary. Like, this is absolutely a just like Amo, another one of those cards that just comes down and basically says, stop me or you probably lose the game. And if both players have no cards in hand, you're probably not stopping Anima. You're not gonna have access to a lot of stuff. So this is pretty much a, hey, I'm ending the game. It basically says skip your next turn practically, short of them drawing 2 and LBing something wild. Kind of scary. A. Shiva. I like that it's a burst and that it negates damage to a player. That's really cool. And I can see some relevant uses with this card in something like, for example, Gilgamesh FFBE that gets to attack 3 times. Just slam this on it. Even if they have the reactivate, it still doesn't do it. It still doesn't, at least it'll get the Dolph freezes, but it at least won't smack you 3 times. You know, if they want to Sarah FFL crack to reactivate it, it's still not gonna end the game. So it's a cool card. I like it a lot. I'll be interested to see if it sees play. It might see it solely because it has that little EX in the corner. I think this is a solid B+. Shulk. Another one of these crystal Sviats. I'm just not a fan of these. I think their name sucks, and I think even in crystal decks, like, there's just better crystal cards to play. So, Shulk gets a C. Jagron, let's go. He's a knight. Jagron gets a B- solely because he's a knight with a name that doesn't clash too hard. That's really it. I mean, so long as knights are relevant, we'll see if the card gets there solely because it's another knight you can hit. I don't know if they need it, but that's where I'm sticking it. Jonah Bot. It's got an effect that's not atrocious, but I think there's just better Jonah Bots to play. So, C. Cecil. Yes. This card's weird. This card's so weird. Like, just going through it, I go like, all right, so you could cheat the enter ability by it being the last card in your hand, sure. So you just get a 3 CP 9K, which isn't bad. 2 Dolph freezes isn't bad. It can close out a game for the point of damage. A damage 5S ability is weird. And taking a point of damage for it on damage 5 is scary. Again, you're closing out a game probably, but you know, I don't know how I feel about this card. It's the Dark Knight Cecil, so you're not cheating into it with the other Dark Knight one. You're playing like what, the Earth one, that not the other Earth, the 3 CP one. That I don't know about this card. I'm gonna say B+. I don't know where I stand on it yet. Xenos. Now here's a card that reads a lot better. Yeah, I mean, it's a very, very scary discard, global discard trigger here. And just Ice having another way to remove cards from break soda is also pretty awesome. I think that we'll see, but I think this card is very good. I think it'll definitely see play. A+. Now we have Sarah. I wanted to like this card more, but I'm saying C+. It's got cool effects, but your choices of commandos suck. First off, it's a Sarah, which is already a crap name, but your choices of commandos are, there's a snow backup, the really slow one from Opus 7. All the Knolls, that's probably what it's meant to be played with, is Knoll. There's a Gilgamesh, funnily enough. And there's like one Lightning Commando, which surprised me. There's just not a lot of good commando choices for her, and her name sucks. The effect is good, but I just don't know where this thing fits. Another one of these. This one at least does something when it comes in. So, this one, I'll give it a C because it actually does something. Stratos. Stratos is weird, but I mean, it's a 2CP 8K. It's in a relevant category. It's a Kingsglaive. I don't know if you care about Ice Kingsglaives. Yeah, I don't know. I give it a C+. It like the stuff is there. It might just be too boring and slow, but it's also just a 2CP Brave 8K. Sure, another one of these. Pacos. I don't like this card. Well, like, are you in Ice other than Biblos? Probably not. So this thing is a solid D. Nimbus. I don't know how I feel about this card. Reads good. You get to search something on entry. It's got good things. Things with Brave. Lots of things with Brave are very good. And it protects them. That's alright. B-. Goofy looking Flan. I mean, maybe if you're running the Flan engine again, that you can use the dull break ability, or the choose a dull break ability, but I don't know if you care about this Flan. C+. Our sign card this set, Lightning, not a commando. The name sucks. I mean, let's be honest. The name sucks on this card. So we're gonna give it a C. Lady Lilith. Another interesting name clash. 3 crystals to gain control of a forward isn't terrible, but I don't know if you care about this card, so I'm just gonna say C. All right, we're into Win. Our first card is Asura. I like Asura. A 1 CP activate your forwards is great, and then you get protection on top of it, a unique protection with protecting your power. It seems solid. 1 CP summons are always a solid pick. B+ on Asura. Adele, one of our Ryuma Ito arts. This card is interesting. A 3 CP haster that activates all your wind characters on attack. You know, you almost got to think of it like, and it's almost not on damage 5. Which, like, activating wind characters is scary. But it is on this forward you have to play. I don't know, but it reads really well. It's in wind. It's doing what wind wants it to do. So we're gonna say B+ on Adele. We'll definitely have to see if this card shows its worth. Journey. I'm giving this thing a B+ solely because it's a 2 CP backup with a very relevant job. Next we have Vaughn. I love this special name. Life of Crime. What a special name. I think there's just better crystal cards to play. I think it's just a lot to do 8K. Yes, it's to the whole board, but it's 2 crystals and an S. I think it's just a little much. We're gonna give it a C. Vana. This card slaps. This card slaps. Solely just having summon canceling on a 2 CP win back up is amazing on its own. And it can do something else. I love this. This is an A. Good wind card. Silver Dragon. Another 2 CP monster that is FF9. The art is awesome and the effect is great. It's a solid monster. This is I think this is an easy A. On the other spectrum, Samavira is a monster that is meh. You want to kill 2 monsters to kill a monster? Eh. More relevant is breaking a board of cost 5 or more, but C. These guys are back and still not good. This is a D. Tiro. Tiro's a D because everything that Tiro says here, solely Tiro's first effect, his auto, is doing exactly what you want the other Tiro for. You are in a multi-element deck. You want the other Tiro. Your name clashes so badly for what you do that you are you're a D. Now on top of this stack of books, Dr. Mog, the common, is sick. This is a solid A. He's a doctor and a Moogle, but he's a job Moogle. He searches a job Moogle, and he can activate Moogles. What more could you ask for? He's got it all. This guy's great. We're back to these backups. I'm giving Ninja a B solely because of its name. Maybe the effect will be relevant in a specific Ninja deck. It's a Ninja, maybe. So we'll do that just for that reason. Noel, the other side of the Caius art. This is an interesting one. In a deck where you're playing a lot of 13 stuff, it's a 1 CP 9K haste first strike. That seems good. With a relevant category. I'm not sure, but it seems good. Depends on your deck build. Wind is just kind of awkward to be in. Now Hope makes it a little less awkward to be in Wind. Hope getting to play anything from your deck on entry is amazing. He's got a Searcher in Nora, and Nora but we're still on that thing where like your choices for win cards in 13 are Nora, Bartholomew, Hope, the previous Noel, and then some monsters. But I could see a world where you just play Nora, get Hope, and then you could like play Bartholomew, play Hope for free, pay the X, slap down a 2 CP backup, and you ramp pretty good there. I don't know. I like this Hope. He reads very good. I think he'll see play somewhere. It might not be in a pure FF13 deck, but I think just a card that plays a card from the deck is good, and we'll see play definitely. So A on Hope. Mina, I wrote this card off at first because of the name clash, because it's clashing with a backup Ninja Searcher. But they're both EX bursts, but this one searches anything. The previous Mina only searches forwards. So it's kind of nice to have a backup Ninja Searcher that also does something else. Or a Searcher that can get a backup. It's the same thing. A on Mina. Medion. The effect is interesting. It's definitely weird, but I don't see it really coming into play. I don't know if you care about this. I mean, activating your backups is great, but I don't know. I'm gonna say C on Medion. Yuffie is anytime there's a card named Yuffie, it's relevant solely because we've got the special. So B plus on Yuffie. It's good draw engine in ninjas, and if you're playing Doom of the Living, then you can play any Yuffie you want. We're here again. Luso, you are a C because your name sucks, and I just don't know if we care about your effect. General Leo, this is a card I'm interested in. Getting that buff for having characters of cost 2 or less, so that includes backups. That's pretty nice. And then he just plays one, so you can play some weird off-color stuff in like a fire wind or something, or anything with wind. It can be neat. I'm definitely interested in this card. I think it's definitely really cool. I'm gonna give it a B plus. Dark Knight, another PCP backup. If we've got 5, it does stuff. I don't really care for this one, so we're gonna give it a C. Ignis, I think this card's really good. It is a retainer that is not super name blocked. It's a burst. It does good stuff. It's just good. It's just everything on this card is good, and it's DFF. A minus on Ignis. This is a good retainer. I think it's a great card. Vincent, this art is cool. I'm not super high on Vincent though. I don't know. I'm just currently reading it. It's just, it might be too slow. It might just need a very specific deck that I'm not seeing. I'm not super high on this card. I'm gonna say B. The warrior, oh, we needed more Warriors of Light, am I right? Oh, thank God. So this thing trashes 2 standard units from your deck, which is weird. We've had a bunch of these standard unit Warriors of Light, and none of them have ever made an impact, and I don't think this one's changing that. So C plus on this guy. Emmett Selk. It's hard to rate Emmett Selk without rating Hythlodaeus, but we're gonna rate Emmett Selk as a card on his own. And I think as a card on his own, he's perfectly fine. He gets you something cool. He does stuff if that cool thing gets to enter. On his own, B minus. Gladiolus, just play a different Gladiolus, I think. So D for different Gladiolus. Golem is a cool summon. It's a reveal 3 at anything. And then if you get it forward, it's a one-sided fight. So that's pretty cool. I think it's a neat card. B plus. Gog. This card's interesting. I could see a world where like you're sacrificing like a blue worm that's about to die anyway to replay Gogmagog, but you're removing it from the game. So you're an Earth, so you might be doing Mirror stuff, which is doing the opposite of what Mirror wants to do. So this card's interesting. Be interested to see if, you know, there's a world where you care about keeping this thing on the board over and over again. It could be a cool blocker. So B minus on Gogmagog. Jesse. Jesse's rating is unfortunate because it's card named Jesse, and this art is amazing, and it's not gonna see play. Shantoto, you're a poor name. Another card with a poor name. It's fine. we'll call it B minus. It's Baby Man in Black, but it's got a meh name. So, Soldier Candidate. Another one that at least does something when it enters, but does it do anything that matters? Probably not. C plus. Naratsima. 2 CP, one-sided fight. It's fine. I don't know if it sees play, but C. Hello, Hythlodaeus. Is it time we talk about Hythlodaeus? I'm just gonna say right now, this is an S tier card. This card is currently the Boogeyman, and I think it's rightfully so. It's our one card combo that is this set's Wall 7, Kirin, whatever you want to call it. The fact that this thing just rips 4 cards can be terrifying. So I'll be interested to see what people cook up with this card, but the possibilities are endless and it's scary. This card may be scary. We'll see. Maybe I'm over exaggerating it, but I think this card's terrifying. We're here again. Reenact. I don't know. Every time I read this card, it just seems underwhelming every single time. So we're gonna say D. Prompto. It's fine, but it's a Prompto. I think there's just better Promptos to play, so we'll say C. Rig. You know, there's a world where you like play like the new Upkalu, you draw a card, you play Rig, you draw 2 more cards, and then you can Mira, bring it back and draw a card. Again, I'm not the biggest monster expert, so I don't know if you care about this card, but I think it reads fine, so B. Lael. So this one might be, I don't know, hot take. I really like this card. It's a 2 CP, gain a crystal on entry, and then if it lives, this thing's doing insanely cool things. No cost restriction on the break, so this thing just starts to become a terror on the board, and keeps gaining crystals. It generates them. I love this card. I'm giving this an A. For crystal decks, this is definitely some food to play with. I like it. Regis. At damage 5, it's kind of scary. It is competing with the other Regis, but still, I think it's fine. B. Azul. Again, we're back to the Sviets, and I just don't like any of them. I really don't. C minus on Azul. Alize. I think this card's just not a Scion. Like, if you're playing Scions, you probably want to play the other one, but I could see a world where this thing sees play in non-Scion decks. The effect is neat, so we'll give it a C+. Justinian, another name clash. You kind of hit that road in Scions, but it's got a nice effect. I mean, a 4 CP adds something back. That's a fine card. B. Odin, now this is a banger of a summon. A lot of people just throw the 7-drop in their deck anyways for an unconditional EX burst break. And now you have one that's like playable. This card's awesome. I really like this Odin a lot. I expect that to see play even in decks that just want to play it as a burst. So this is an A. Puppet Master. This one actually has like an effect that may be pretty good, even just as a play it dull without the 5. I think this one's not terrible. B minus for Puppet Master. King. We're getting outside my realm of expertise again. I don't know anything about cadets. I know there's a bunch of pretty good kings to play, but this king reads pretty good. Discarding 2 cards is a little expensive, but 4 CP, to break any forward. He doesn't have haste, but that seems good. B. Queen. Again, I don't know how much like this would be a clash with the last queen we got, because the last queen we got seems pretty good. I've definitely seen that one played here and there in Lightning. So be interested to see if this can topple that one, but it seems fine. So we'll say B- on Queen. Grahatia. This doesn't topple the old Grahatia, so C. Kryl, a Scion backup that buffs Scions. Sign me up. B+. Thancred. This is a nice playable Thancred. We've really kind of probably needed a good playable Thancred outside of the water lightning one. And this one's great. You get to break something on entry. Any forward. That's awesome. Yeah. A. This is a good Thancred. Jack. I mean, we've hit the point in the game where any card that says mill 3, you immediately like eyes open scared, but I don't really care for Jack too much, so C. Oh, one of our Lightning Legends, Sarah. I really love this card. I love this card a lot. I just don't know if it's just too slow. I'm having a very hard time. Like, I love it, but I just don't know how I feel about it. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think about the 13 stuff. If you think it pushes the category forward, if it all seems too slow and janky, I'm not sure. But I'm giving Sarah an A-. I like the card. We'll see where it ends up, but I like it. Soldier candidate. I mean, this one's a typical Lightning standard unit. It's 2 CP with haste, so C+. Yay. Another crystal backup. Fencer. I mean, it does something cool, but I don't care for this too much. C-. Black Widow. Of these 2 CP monsters, I think this is the worst, so D. Mog. Now, while Mog has a name clash with another good Mog 13-2, they're in different elements, so I could see a world where this one's in like, I don't know, like I talked about lightning before, so like a wind lightning, or, you know, a lightning fire, having a nice relevant 2 CP 13 backup. Even in the fire lightning, like typical deck we've seen in the past, it's a nice 2 CP 13 backup. And so for that, I'm giving this thing a B. It's got a good category, it's got a good cost, and at the end of the day, it's got a good effect. Same thing like with Yuffie. You print a card with the Y'shtola on it, and it's food for Pulse of Creation. So, the text on it can say whatever it wants as a Y'shtola, but the text on it's pretty okay. So B-. Rosso. We've been over this. It's a C. It's a Sviat. Apkalu. Water monsters are scary. 1 CP water monsters to draw a card are scary. So it's an A. Altenia. You go down the card and you're like, okay, that's a name we haven't seen. Oh, it's a knight. Oh, okay, who cares? D. It doesn't really need to be in the Knight's deck, and if it's not in the Knight's deck, it doesn't have a home. Alphino is a cool card. Again, 2 CP backups with relevant jobs are great, and he has a nice ability. So, and Alphinode's one of the ones that's very kind of like, you could slot it wherever. So B plus. Urianger, kind of does what Urianger likes to do. We have the lightning one that, you know, gets you a Cat 14. This one gets a job sign 7th Dawn. It's a burst, so this card's also fine. B plus. Young Exenmill. A plus. I'm very hyped about this. I like crystal cards, and this is a really good crystal card. So not only, because like it needs to live, unless you give it haste, this thing needs to live to start getting its value. But before it gets its value, it's a 2 CP 5k that can protect itself with becoming a 9k. That's cool on its own. And then this thing lives. All right, you're playing Glaciella Wizette. You're playing Sarah Mobius. You're playing the Crystal Lena. You can even do cool toolboxy things, like your opponent plays Sarah FFL, and you can Young Exenmill to grab Mog out of your deck to draw a card and then crack the Mog so they can't search. I think we keep an eye on this card. I think this card's got some spice to it. Dancer, we got some Dancer stuff this set, which excites me. This is another one of those backups we've been seeing. I'm giving this one a B just because it's a Dancer, and we have better 2CP Dancer water backups, but it's still a Dancer. And if you want to play a different one, here it is. Gizmaluk. Job Dragon, even though the lad's not a dragon in the game, but you know what, we can look past that. I can look past that to say that the effect is very good. Seems like a very good monster. B plus. Quina, this card reads very, very scary. I don't know if it's too slow, but draw a card when you get your monster, you know, being able to play Upkalu, draw 2, Blue Worm, draw 2, whatever, like, we'll see. I think it's fine. B plus. Witch of the Fens, another one of these monster cards that draws you stuff and has a relevant monster effect. Could be a cool toolbox card for monsters in like, oh, I need to just 7k power loss something quick. Sack that up, Kalu. So I think this card's great and the art's cool. So B. Defender, it's not a soldier candidate. I know I've been hating on the soldier candidates, but it's not a soldier candidate. Tataru. Guess what? It's a 2 CP Scion of the 7th Dawn backup, so it's a B plus. Hermelda, this card's neat. I'm giving this an A. I'm tempted to even say A plus. Like, this thing has some cool text on it that you're just playing stuff for free. Anytime you're playing stuff for free, good card. Slot it into like a Kyrian deck and just start going off. It seems like it has really cool build potential around it. A plus. Fortuno, potential free card that can bounce something or activate a Scion. That seems good. We'll give it a B. Now here's a Dancer. Oh, yes. Slap an A on Portia. We got a Dancer that finally doesn't name clash, that does good stuff. I mean, it's a 2 CP that refunds itself, and if you've got 4 Dancers, you're bottom decking something. That's awesome. This is a Dancer. Love it. Porum. One of the cards I'm most hyped for. S tier. What an awesome card. The art is gorgeous. The effect is great. Like, I don't sleep on this card. I think this card is bonkers. I think people are going to get too attached to the old Porum, the 2 CP ability blanker, without seeing the potential of new Porum. Because like a turn 1, just old Palom into new Porum, give Palom 2 counters, Palom buffs, gives him a counter end of turn pass. Now you've got an online Palom, turn 1. That seems crazy good. So good. And the fact that it's free, that you could just like Palom, Porum, counters, Chocobo, bounce it, play it again for free. Wild. This card's awesome. I'm S-tiering this because I think this card is, you could slot, it's free, so you can slot it into mono fire. I mean, that's awesome on its own. Really cool card. I don't think the name clash hurts it at all. Yay. Young Ray Hall. 3 CP to gain 2 crystals is awesome on its own. It's playable off of Young Exen Mill. It's alright. Yeah, I think this card is perfectly alright. B+. Leviathan, A+ summon right here. Very good. Getting to salvage something back from your damage zone and draw a card, and then put something dead into your damage. There's been plenty of decks where I've toyed with playing Larsa just to salvage stuff from damage, and this is just that, but better. Love this Leviathan. A+. More dancers. I at first was sad because I was like, wow, great, name clash. But then Lilith set has a nice special, and this one's a burst. Even if you just play this as special fodder, people are already trying like the water lightning one as special fodder. This one's just better and has a burst on it. So, hey, I'm happy about this. I like the dancer cards we got. Vina, this card's interesting. It's a 4 CP, gain 2 crystals, which is good on its own. Getting to RFG something on death is great. So like combine that with a Maydeen and you're just like double RFGing stuff. And if they let it sit there, then you get to just infinitely search for anything like a Shinryu. Card reads very well. It'll be interesting to see what kind of crystal things pop up with some of the new stuff and with light cards. B+ on Banal. I like it. Next we have a Lua. This card's interesting. I like it. It's neat that it gets to do things in the early game or the late game, not just one or the other. I could see a very specific deck. It's not going to see widespread play for sure, but there's definitely a very specific deck for this thing. Sees play probably. So I think it just reads really well. B. And Chaos. Yeah, this card is, it's got lots of good words on it. I'm gonna give it an A. I mean, it's kind of Arc in one little package, and it's got an S, which may be pretty relevant. I don't know. I don't know the build for it, but it reads really well. Let's get into the limit break cards, and we'll start with Arden. A for Arden. I love this card. I love that it just gets to play another one from your limit break deck. I like that the turn face down is an if you do so. That's really cool. And I love that you could use this as like a bluff, right? Like maybe I'm only playing one in my LB deck. You don't know that. Are you gonna risk killing it? So it's a neat card. It's cool. I just like the text on it. Our other fire LB card is Vincent. Vincent is perfectly fine. It's a first strike is a great keyword to have, and I mean, granted, both the fire LBs set are expensive, being a 6 cost and a 5 cost, but I mean, I think it'll be perfectly fine for fire. I think it's doing exactly what fire wants to do. So, what do we give Vincent? B+. Kuja, A+. This is the Ice LB that Ice wants. Yeah, this thing's awesome. The fact that it's a dull active Kuja ability and not a dull symbol is also super relevant. This card's great. A+ Kuja. Very great. And on the flip side, Kateseth. This unfortunate full art legend, I just don't think is it. A 6-cost LB3 that freezes all the backups on a specific condition. This card just seems like it's just not it. It's just so unfortunate. I'm sorry, C+ Kateseth. Like, you'll have your niche day, but you are expensive for, like, I'd rather just play Anima. Wind, I mean, Wind LBs, man. We're looking at the best one. B, or best Wind LB, especially this set. Revealing 3 is kind of a slim check, but it might save you. So, F for Death Gaze. It's thematically really cool, but my god, what is this? On the complete other end of the spectrum, S for Ico. This card is nutty. This card is so awesome. This is exactly, summon decks are eating good. This is exactly what they want. Noctis is fine. We're gonna say B. He seems a little expensive. I mean, you have to look at it maybe like a 4 CP, add something back. It's utility. I don't know how much you care about it, but it's utility. We'll put a B on it. Now we're gonna look at Edge. Now this is a card that expensive cost pays off, especially in like a specific ninja deck. This card will probably be a menace. I think this card's gonna be awesome. A on Edge. The lightning LBs are great. Nyx, our other one. Not a fan of this art. Just slap the movie poster on a card, I guess. But the effect, an LB1 that can cost 1, possibly 0, that's cool. Just, hey, I want a 9K. I have a 9K. Love it. A. B for Beatrix. She has a very specific deck to be in, but she may do what that deck needs it to do. Luna Freya, I think we all know that this card's an S tier. This card reads just nutty. My god, bananas. Whatever other word you want to think of. Just imagine picking a Lev 6 off this. Holy crap. S tier. This card's gonna be wild. And our final LB card is Light. It's Luso, and it also gets an S. We'll see if this is contested by people, but I think this card is... We've been waiting on the Light LB for Maydeen anyways, but this card does some really cool stuff. Searching a standard unit? I mean, even just searching the backups that are free when you have free backups, where it's just... I have 3 backups, so like Doll 3 pitch card, LB Luso, go get the free backup, slam it down. Great! That's awesome! And then it's a light card, so you get to Maydeen. I love this. I really love this as a light LB, and I think it's absolutely gonna see play. And has some really cool targets to pick out. So, yeah, that's Hidden Trials. What are we all thinking? I'm curious to see how much this shakes up the meta. I know a lot of people are very doomer on the meta right now, and are looking kind of grim after seeing all these cards, but I'll be interested to see it. So yeah, let me know what you think of the set in the comments, and yeah, until next time.